Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies. My name's Angela, I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady, and I'd like to welcome all my old subscribers and all my new subscribers back to this week's Whips, Bits and Chat. For all you new crazies that have only just found the channel but haven't subscribed yet, why not? It's not a bad idea. It means that if you look down below this box, you will see a couple of little symbols, okay? And one of course is the subscribe button. You can click that, costs you nothing. And then if you pop onto the bell that's next door to it and click that, you'll get a little pop-up box that gives you three choices. If you click all, then YouTube will show you all of the videos as they're released from this channel. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you won't miss anything like the live notifications or any of the other stuff that I put out on the channel. And if you're in a really good mood, that thumbs up would really help me out as well, because it then tells YouTube that you guys like the content. And then if you think of something while this video is going on and you think, okay, I'm going to comment on that, remember, pop down and find that comment section and add your comment in. I would love to read what you think about what I'm talking about during this video. Alright, so now let's get on with video roundup. Yeah, that was slack, wasn't it? I've done squat diddly this week. I'm so sorry, gang. I really desperately want to get these finished because, of course, I have to hand them over at the end of October. So I will give you a poppy roundup in a little bit, but let's get back to the video roundup first. Right, so the first two videos up this week were actually our lives. There was the evening live on Tuesday at 7:30 GMT and the lunchtime live, which was on a Wednesday starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon GMT. So I'll put both links up there because I'm going to have room, because the only actual standalone video I did this week, I'm sorry to say, was my throwback series. So there was the throwback showing you what I was making around Christmas last year. I really hope you're enjoying the throwbacks. I must admit, I am. It's nice to be reminded of the projects that I'd made, and of course bring them to your attention if you hadn't seen them, so that you could jump in and make them this year for your Christmas tree or your Christmas decorations or for gifts. Right, let's get on with the next bit. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, little change in the background. I have added up here hashtag 09, and this is the Unicorn C2C blanket. Now with this blanket you get all the instructions on how to do all the white section and the unicorn in the middle. What you don't get is the border. The border is included in the written pattern that is available on the Ravelry shop, but of course you can use whichever border you like. So that is the video and the pattern that I'm showing you this week. Link will be either up there or in the description box and down below, depending on how much room I have. Right, so now I'm going to be slightly evil. It is now time for breaking news. And yes, it's probably still rubbish up there and it's probably still not quite working. And the breaking news, I'm sorry to say, is not for you lot this week. It's for me. Me, gang. It's for me. Right, it is time for the poppy count. It's the poppy roundup. And it is time for me to tell you how many poppies I managed to make this week. So, of course, we have got another box of 60, which will make the poppy count 960. But I've been quite bored of poppies, and when I'm driving along, I'm now at the point where all I can see is poppies coming towards me as headlights. So it gets dangerous at this point in the count. So I thought, no, I can't put the hook down. I'm just going to have to keep going. So here we go. Yes, this box looks a bit strange. They're not standing as they would normally do, but that is because there is the last 40. You heard right. The last 40 poppies. It's done, gang. Finally. No more poppy count. Finally, no more poppies. Not for at least a couple of months anyway. or shall I say until the end of the month, when I go and join the crowd of poppy collectors to collect to sell poppies as I normally do. Now, for any of you that weren't here last year, I managed to do a lot of pre-recording. I'd managed to get hold of a lot of magazines, whether it was knitting magazines, yeah, I showed them. I showed crochet magazines, and I did as much as I possibly could on the pre-record. There were no lives at that point because I wasn't doing lives. This year, because of the times for the tables, I will not be able to pre-book in my lives, and the daytime live may not happen. But it will depend on whether we're actually allowed to collect this year, because last year we only managed to get, I think it was 5, maybe 6 days into the collection cycle of 2.5 weeks before the government closed us down because of COVID. So fingers crossed for all of us collectors this year round that we will have a full 2.5 weeks of collecting before the 11th of November. Yeah, I'm just sorry, brain went and I was like, oh, did I say the right month? I should know it off by heart really, shouldn't I? I do, but the brain and the mouth don't always work. And so during those couple of weeks, there will be limited things coming up on the channel. I will still make the throwbacks, and there will still be, hopefully, the video roundup and maybe a couple of other items. Yep, I've managed to find some books, so there will be some books. And I'll just have to see what else I can think of that I can hold out on and not show you until that point. But you will get some content. If anything, you'll probably get easily more than this week. So now time for the poppy happy dance. Whoop, whoop, happy dance. Whoop, whoop, happy dance. Whoop, whoop, happy dance. That's it. I know I'm tone deaf. So now time to bring the poppy count board forward. Excuse me, Uncle Tom. Let's move you over there. Get rid of the 9. Bye. And time to add the big count. Oh my gosh, it takes up more room than the other numbers. Of course it does, Ange. It's got an extra 0 on it. Duh. Right, so fingers crossed this sticks and this stays. But here we go, gang. Oh, 1,000 poppies. Do-do, 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 do-do. Right, so in a little bit, once I do the math on it, I'm going to tell you how much yarn I used, how many miles I crocheted, and how many hours it took. Oh, and how many ends. Oh, the ends, the ends, the ends. Give me a second, I will be right back. So here are the yarny stats. There was 19 balls of red used. There was, so I got it written down on post-it note on the back of here actually. Right, so there was 19 100-gram balls of DK in red used. And 3 100-gram balls of green used. And 3 100-gram balls of black used. I used a 2.5mm hook as my crochet has got a lot looser since last year. So in total I used 25 balls of yarn to complete the challenge. Now, according to my Ravelry, because of course I have also put up the Poppy Brooch challenge and I've added a couple of photos and I'm showing my progress as I go. They have done the math for me, which is absolutely brilliant, because 25 skeins of yarn, oh, crikey, came in at 6,750 meters, which is 7,381.9 yards, or 2,500 grams. Okay, so I'm going to go off now and see which mountain I managed to climb and how many times I climbed it. No, I'm going to see if I've managed to crochet from Land's End to John O'Groats. Do you think I'm anywhere close yet? I don't know. I'm going to go and nose. Back in a sec. Okay, so I didn't quite manage the Land's End to John O'Groats this year, but what I did manage to do was 4.19 miles. Okay, just shy of the half to round it back up again. Yeah, no, I can't do it. The actual number is going to be written along the bottom here. It's 4.194261336. Sorry, I'm excited. But yes, I managed to do that amount of miles of yarn. It's amazing how much we can actually crochet. But I'm now going to work out a total since I started. Oh, this is going to be fun. Will I make it to half marathon status? I wonder. Oh my gosh. The total is 10.9 miles. 10.9 miles of crochet poppies. Okay, that's not back-to-back poppies. That's the length of the yarn used. But I nearly ran a marathon, I did. Or at least a half. Right, so each poppy takes around 20 minutes. Okay, now I could probably get it down to 18, but I really couldn't be bothered to time it. Okay, so around 20 minutes a pop. A pop for a poppy, which totaled in at 350 hours of crocheting these guys. Okay, there was over 8,000 ends. I say over because on some of them I was stupid and when I ran out of the colour, I just added a new one, as we do. So there was a couple of poppies like that had an extra couple of ends on them, but we won't count those ones because basically each poppy has 8 ends. So that's why it's 8,000, a nice round number. And now it's time for my thank yous. I had a little bit of help with this one, or should I say a massive amount of help from 2 girls. One was our gorgeous Sabrina Melody, and no, I've said her surname wrong again. I will pop a link up to her channel. If it's not up there, it will be in the description box and down below. Now, right at the beginning of this, she stitched me up and she sent me 8 balls of a red signet, as she knew that that was the one that I was using. So she sent me a parcel and said, you can't tell me off, because at this point I'd asked her not to, because I was due to move down here and I knew I had no room for yarn, but I couldn't tell her off because it was for the poppies. So she had sent me the 8 boxes of poppies and some chocolate to keep me going, bless her. So thank you ever so much, darling, for those. 8 of these boxes belong to you. Well, they don't, they belong to the Royal British Legion, or at least they will once I hand them over, but you know, those 8 boxes are yours. And the next person I would like to thank is, of course, our Louisa from the Secret Yarn Stash. I'd love to thank her and the team for giving me the affiliated link that's in the drop down box and down below. With that affiliated link, I was able to collect points, and those points I used for all the rest of the yarn. That was another 17 balls of red, black and green. And they were free to me just because you guys used that link and I got to collect points off of your orders. Now remember, that link is still active. You can still use it and you can still help support the channel. And the link costs you nothing. It's just a quick fire. You click on it, you go through, you place your order. You will be able to collect points when you sign up to them. And I get only a few points from your order. It's nothing massive. It's not going to make me a millionaire in yarn, but it all helps out. So if you would like to jump down and use that link, that will be in the description box of this video again. So, but thank you ever so much, Louisa and team. You guys are absolutely gorgeous and ever so generous, ever so generous. And I suppose I better thank the last one, hadn't I, hubby? The evil toe rag who stitched me up right at the beginning. He is the one that covers the rest of the costs. That is his punishment, basically. That is his punishment for setting me the challenge way back a couple of years ago before this channel started. And so he covers the cost of the brooch backs, oh, I wrote it all down. Yep, the brooch backs, the bags, the cotton and the miscellaneous, like the ink for the printer and the paper. His contribution alone this year was £87. Poor toe rag, but it's his own fault. Oh, £87 and quite a few weeks of housework. Yeah, that's right. When I get into the poppy mindset, which was last week, that's why there was no videos. All last week he done all the washing, all the cooking, all the housework while I sat there going, it's your own fault, you set me the challenge. Right? So he had to do all of that and his normal job. So thank you ever so much, darling, for picking up my slack while I was making poppies. Right, so and now for the next item that I've made this week. It's only something small, and there's a little bit of a background story to this. Now, my bestie, who has now come on the channel as something along the lines of Angela's brain, a couple of weeks ago it was can't crochet, won't crochet, she decided finally, after a couple of years of me going, come on girl, I know you can do it. And she went to Aldi's and she picked herself up a crochet hook and some yarn. And she's been attempting to crochet. Now, the first thing she wants to make is an amigurumi. So of course, I've been sitting there trying to give her one-on-one lessons. We're not the best at this. I wind her up, she winds me up, but it's all done in jest and I love her to bits. Now, she chose a pattern that wasn't mine, which is fully understandable because I don't have exactly a great deal of amigurumi on the channel, and the one pattern that I have got is really bad, but it shows you all the techniques that you would need. So that's why I've put it up and left it up. It's so that you can have a giggle at my finished product, or my finished item I should say, and definitely improve on it yourself. But of course it shows you all the different techniques that you will need to know to go off and make something else. Right, so she hasn't been using my videos. Instead she found a video by the gorgeous Hooked by Robin, and is her Hooked by Robin's a crochet a whale amigurumi. So she went, I'm making this one, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I said, go on then. So I'm helping her, trying to help her get round the magic, her head round the magic circle and other bits and pieces. And after about 2 days she went, no, not doing it anymore, I'm moving on to an octopus. Yeah, so she doesn't go for an easier item, no, she chooses a harder item. So I'm like, okay, fine. So when she needs the help on that one, I will help her out. But at the moment I'm leaving her be because she's like me, she's very stubborn and I know that she can do it. Well, of course, because I was trying to help her out with it, I wanted to know which bits of Robin's pattern was going to be the hardest to explain. So I had to make it. So I sat there one evening and I just followed Robin's pattern and the way that she describes it. But I have done a little adaptation to it, which I will show you in a second. But here it is. Here is my little whale. Okay, this is the, as I said, the crocheted amigurumi whale by Hooked by Robin. I will pop a link in the description box and down below. Now, I made mine with a 2.5mm hook because I had it in my hand. I just finished the poppies and I was like, oh, I might as well carry on using this hook. So I used the 2.5mm hook, and the yarn that I have used is the Signet Pato Everyday DK. And the blue, oh, I haven't got it up. The blue is Sax, and the undercolour is an off-white. I can't remember the actual colour of that one. But yeah, that is what it's made from. Now, I think the pattern itself is really lovely and really easy. The hardest bits, if you've never made an amigurumi, the hardest bits are working out how to get your head around the magic circle. You can do it. It is doable. It's just practice, okay? So you get your head around the magic circle, and the hardest bits are these here because they're the smallest bits. Okay, that is all it is. It's because you can't always get your finger in, so that it helps you see the stitches as you work. So those are the hardest sections. Okay, that is where you first learn to increase, and you first learn to decrease, and you first learn to use the magic circle. I said that in the wrong order. But yeah, those bits there are the hardest bits. The rest of it is really easy and really speedy. Right, so here is my adaptation. No whale is complete without its happy squirt of water. Okay, now I've got to try and remember how I did this. I freehanded it, you see. So I chained 11. And then I worked into the second chain from the hook with a single crochet, and I did that for 3 stitches. I then chained another 4, worked back into that chain on the second chain from the hook, and down 3 stitches. Sorry, down 3 chains with 3 stitches. And I did that a total of 4 times. Okay, so when you get to the bottom, you chain some more, and then you work into the chain. And once I'd finished that, I chained all the way and back down. And that created the tufty bit here. Okay, now you can add as many of those excess chains on as you want. I did 5. I thought that'll do me. He's quite cute with his 5. So there you go. That's with the adaptation. And as I said, the pattern link will be in the description box and down below. It might be up the top. It will depend on how much room I have. But as I said, gorgeous pattern and really lovely to work. I haven't added the cheeks. I did try to add a mouth, but it didn't look right. So I'm going to have to go back and think about that. I may just leave it as it is because he is cute, isn't he? Look at that. Look at that cheeky face. Right, on to the next item. Right, quick reminder for those girls that won on the lives on Tuesday and Wednesday that haven't claimed their prize. What are you waiting for, girls? Make sure you read that description box on how to claim your prize and hop to it as quick as possible, because if time runs out on you, I'm sorry, I won't be sending those patterns over to you. Yes, I'm gonna have to be a cowbag on this, but if you want to help yourself out and choose really quickly, have a quick look. Here is a picture of the patterns that you could win over on the lives and this coming a week. So make sure you join in if you can. Now on to some puppy Liam news. Now Liam is not a puppy, he's coming up for 4. He might even be 5. I've lost track. Hey, that's what happens in this house. Right, he had a play date with his gorgeous mate Luna. Now Luna is a husky. Absolutely beautiful, and they love rough and tumble. And they've been rough and tumbling since Luna was a puppy and he was a puppy. So they know each other's boundaries. He's only gone and pulled a muscle. So the poor little toe rag is on a rest and he's not appreciating the fact that we're not allowing him to run. And we're not giving him as much outside time as possible. And even just the old walk around the block, he's starting to do his head in. But you can see it's uncomfortable for him when he walks. So it's going to be a trip to the vets. Ooh, I best make that appointment now and get to it. He's had it for a limp for a couple of days. Sometimes the limp will go away after a couple of days of rest. So we normally give him a couple of days of rest and plenty of massaging. That's the bit he loves the most. That is why half the time he fakes limping. So that you give him a massage. Yeah, he's worse than me for it. He really is. Liam. Hello, gorgeous. Yeah, so see, he's bad, but he's not bad enough to not want cuddles. Mwah. Oh, I love you, gorgeous. Yes, I love you too. Right, come on then, down you get. Right, so just a quick heads up, the lives this coming week will be again on Tuesday evening at 7:30 GMT. And on Wednesday lunchtime, that is 1 PM GMT. Now please remember, on the 1 PMs I cannot carry on going. I have to leave by 2:45 to go and pick my daughter up from school, because walking home would be too dangerous for her, those dual carriageways, and it would take her about an hour and a half, if not 2 hours, to walk it. So yeah, I'm evil, but I'm not that evil to her. Not yet anyway. It's Saturday, it's 10:30 AM GMT, so now it's time to go over and have a nose at the poll that I put up last week. Now this poll is here so that we can find out what we are going to be making possibly next month. It's all Christmas related, I know, bit of a pain, but of course I've got to get it in early so that you guys, I can get it made before Christmas. Right, yeah, just jumped out of the shower, soaking wet hair, no glasses, pulling funny faces, funnier than normal, just trying to focus. So if I've got resting bee face, apologies now. Right, so I've just pulled it up. I will put a picture at the end of this segment so you can see what I'm trying to see. Right. In third place, that's right, we have a tie somewhere along. But in third place it is the cowl or shawl, and that has got 15% of the 34 votes. Yeah, I ain't doing the math. It's got 15%. Right. Okay, then we have our draw. Now this is for the Christmas wall hanging as well as the C2C blanket. Which one of you evil crazies decided to go for the blanket? Do you realise how long they take to make? Right, don't worry about it, I'm only playing. And our overall winner, yes, I would say something smaller and less complicated, but it's going to be complicated for us because it's something new for me to teach you. And, or not teach you, but new for me to show you and for you to copy. Oh, this is going to be fun. It is the naughty Christmas storage item. Now, I'd just like to say this isn't a naughty as in the normal naughty. This is a naughty because it is going to be holding some alcohol. Okay, so keep your eyes out. Oh, Posty's here. Keep your eyes out and I will show it to you later. Right, so that is it for me for today. It is a really short, sharp one because apart from the poppies, there wasn't really a lot for me to talk about and to go on about for hours and hours. So I'm not. Right, I'm going to head off now. I will see you all really, really soon. So if you can, please stay in and definitely stay safe. Ta-ra for now, everybody.